Hey, it's the Midnight Raven and welcome to my 30-day fitness challenge video for today. Today's video is all about diet and exercise fads of the past century. So I recently did a video called The Weirdest Fitness Trends, and today we're going to be delving back into weird trends of fitness and things that people do to lose weight, whether it's putting themselves in a bag and heating themselves up, or putting themselves in some kind of torture device, believing that they're going to shed the pounds. Or are we going to rub ourselves and lather ourselves up with some fat-reducing soap that apparently sheds the pounds by showering? Who knows? So today we're going to look at some crazy fads. Here is the video. Let me just get this slideshow up because you're going to want to see some of these. So here we go. We're going to look at the 51 biggest diet and exercise fads of the past century. Now, we're not going to dive deep into all of these because there is 51 of them, but we're going to take a gander at some of the more crazier ones. So I'm going to put myself on the screen and let's get into this. So here we have, maybe this one will actually work. So this was the toning system. So this was an apparatus that you use to put between your legs, I believe. And the idea is you would use a kind of closing motion and it would strengthen the muscles between your thighs. Americans have always got an insatiable appetite for diet, and this is one of them. And you know what? I highly believe that this might have actually been good for your actual arms, because you could do the arm motion with it. You could use it for your legs. So it was kind of like a multi-use. So I actually, amazingly, how crazy it looks, I actually believe this might have actually shed you, maybe not shed pounds, but I think you've been able to strengthen up your arms and legs. Jane Fonda's workout. Now, I've never seen a video by Jane Fonda. But apparently she was popular in the 80s. She basically dominated the fitness craze and sold over 17 million tapes. Never seen anything, but apparently she also got leg warmers and leotards to become in fashion. Who knew you could look sexy and hot while doing fitness? Sweating to the oldies. Oh, Richard Simmons. Do you remember him? Oh my God. This was a craze that just went ballistic. This ginger-haired man in his little outfit, sweating, and it literally hit America and Beverly Hills like a tornado. This just boomed when it came to exercise. He was such an iconic person and people wanted to exercise like him. And then he brought out his dealer meal. So this is a safe and easy way to lose pounds and get healthy. So he brought out his own dealer meal diet program based on his nutritional logic. Never heard anything. It's obviously, I live in the UK, but he was so popular, I believe he could have sold anything to anyone back then. So moving on, jazzercise. So before Zumba became a thing, jazzercise enlisted legions of followers. Now, I believe it actually, like in the 80s, it was actually really popular, like dancing in clubs and everything. And then Zumba came along, which was kind of more like, I suppose you'd call it hip hop, pop kind of dancing, maybe more mainstream music was used. And I think jazzercise is still popular today. You still get people doing Zoom, jazzercise. Denise Austin. I've never heard of her before, but she's a wellness ambassador. And in the 80s, she was a global success. Never heard of her. Like I said, again, I'm in the UK, so some of these I may or may not heard of. So if you have heard of any of these, comment down below, share your experiences. Okay, next we have the 8-minute abs. Now, I have seen the infomercials for these. The 8-minute abs is a thing. It's among the most legendary at-home workouts in history. and continues to be popular. The original workout had racked up 14.5 million views on YouTube. So they claimed that 8 minutes of workout a day, you could get buns and legs and arms like this. Just 8 minutes a day. This was 8 minutes of high cardiovascular, high intensity workout, and you could look like this. The washboard cheese grater figure. Americans will do anything to lose weight. Here we have Buns of Steel. First time on DVD. Never heard of it again. Apparently this was a way of getting that jelly bottom to turn into buns of steel. Again, never heard of it. Total Body Workout, Body by Jake. So Jake Steinfeld was a trainer to the stars before he jumped on the exercise home video bandwagon. Again, never heard of him. He also created Major League Lacrosse, the first professional outdoor lacrosse league. Well, he's been a busy man. I've still never heard of him, though. Here we go, Tarbo. Now, this I have heard of. Bill Banks' Tarbo classes. They're kind of a combination between kickboxing, karate, fitness, kind of all in one. It's a very high cardio, insane workout, and it's meant to make you ripped, basically, like this guy. Became a really big hit in the 90s. It was very high intense. It basically took martial arts and just turned it into a dance inspired kind of, you know, moving kind of thing where you got into it. And he really pumped you up. He was such a character, kind of like the Simmons one. He really, really got you to exercise. Okay, Wii Fit. Now, back in the day, in the glorious 2000s, 2008s, Nintendo Wii brought out their own Wii board where you could do exercise, yoga, Pilates, and at first it did catch on really well. I actually used the Wii myself to do my yoga on. It was really hard to use the board to do yoga, I must admit. It was so hard on your hands and everything. It made more sense to use a yoga mat and then just use the video, but it did catch on. P90X. So this is another extreme 1980s, 1990s workout. It didn't die. I think this workout just kind of faded into the background. It was a workout that kind of encouraged healthy eating, and encouraged a full hour a day for 90 days while eating well. So it encouraged an hour workout alongside eating well, and you should see results within 90 days, which is 3 months. And there were tons of infomercials about this one, and it did become a big craze. Insanity, another one which is a high intense, high activity. See, some of these are not for everybody. Not everybody has the stamina, the strength, the endurance to do these kind of things because they are so intense. Came out again in the late 2000s, and it really did. These were grueling, high intense activities, and the idea was to do it for 90 days. Program was squeezed into just 2 months. So what you could achieve in 3, you should be able to achieve in 2 with this thing. And they were encouraging you to basically pump iron and kind of thing. You were going to get these abs, they claimed. Next one, the Thigh Master that I shoot at the beginning. So we can skip past that one. Here we go, shake weight. Who doesn't remember shake weight? It was a thing about this big, as in the picture, and all you did was shake it like this in your hand or shake it like this. And it became the meme of the century. Made £40 million in less than a year, though. Whoever invented this, they knew what they were doing. It hit every store possible, became a big fitness trend. Yes, it did have some ridicule, but that made it even more popular, and then even more people bought it and made even more money. So this is Body Blade. So this was an American fitness, and the premises was a long bow-shaped blade that produced vibrations when shaken. So kind of like the shaker weight, but this was a long stick, kind of along the same premises. You had a great big workout thing, and you basically, the stick vibrated. I'd never heard of this before. I think the shake weight, because it was so big, people noticed that more than anything else. The ab roller. So the ab roller was a little wheel with a thing, and you basically rolled like this on the floor. It's an okay thing. I don't know how much weight you'd lose, but it's developed 1 billion in sales. So a wheel released in 1994 and 1 billion sales. I mean, can you argue with that kind of figure? I mean, probably not. Moving on. Another fad was the ab coaster. So this was a machine that you sat on, and it basically pulled you backwards and forwards, and you worked the motion, kind of like a cross trainer where you go side to side, but this was an up and down motion like being on a roller coaster. It did take off slightly, but I think the cross trainer probably beat it. The cross trainer is a bit more multifunctional, in all honesty. It was expensive. It took up a lot of room in your house. So this wasn't to everyone's tastes, but it would have possibly worked. The next one is the Bowflex. Oh, so this has so many bells and whistles. Came out in 1996. Apparently, using it for 20 minutes a day for 3 days a week promised that you would basically lose weight, tone up. However, using free weights is a less costly thing. The secret was tension rods, which gave you the best results. And they were basically little strings with these handles, and you basically pull them like this. But they're basically saying you could just use weights and do exactly the same thing for a fraction of the price, which in hindsight is probably true. You'd probably save money just by doing the normal free weights. Next was the Abnomizer. Now, I'd never heard of this one before, but it was a plastic sled with handles. I don't know much about it. It didn't help reach it didn't really do anything. It promised a lot, but didn't deliver. I don't know how to use this. And to me, it doesn't look like it would really work, I have to say. But it came out in 1984. Infomercials came out, and I don't think it hit as big as some of the other fads that came out in the 80s. I think there were bigger ones, and this one just tried to slide on in there and didn't do as well. Next, we have the Gazelle Freestyler. Okay, so I actually have one of these down our local park, or a similar contraption. So this was the contraption with 2 handles, 2 feet, and you basically, I think it was a scissor action. Yeah, you basically swung backwards and forwards, I believe, kind of like the coaster, but these were like being on skis. Did it work? I don't think really you would lose too much weight. I think it's more costly than anything else. Things like these, having these kind of exercise equipment at home can be costly. They take up space, and that's why people go to the gyms. The next one was the Teeter hang up. Okay, so this is like they're kind of like the things that astronauts use. You sit in it, and it kind of moves you. So basically, it squashes your entire body into a compressed ball of pain. It hangs you upside down like a vampire, and for every while, you basically go backwards and forwards. So the idea was to be in it and then tilt yourself and tilt yourself. I have no idea how that would even make you lose weight. It would probably make you feel sick. It was a fad. It didn't really catch on. But hot girls in it, men went crazy for it. These sauna suits. Oh, so we did a kind of thing on this the other day. This is a suit that you put on that basically you do your exercises in, it increases your body temperature because it's basically like a garbage bag. It heats up as you're basically sweating, and apparently it's meant to help you burn fat. Now, this I can kind of believe. If you do wear some heavy duty thing when you're exercising, you're gonna sweat, but I don't think you're gonna be getting like high losses of fat unless you really do work out. The next one is kettlebells. Now, kettlebells have been around for quite a few years. A lot of people use kettlebells in the gym. You basically pull it up like this, or you can do one arm extensions. They do tone up the muscles in your arms, and they probably do tone up the muscles in your chest as you're pulling it, but you wouldn't lose weight from this. This is more like a strength and toning the arms. It has been a trend. You still get these in gyms nowadays, so they haven't lost any craze. And then the last one for this video, we're going to split this into because it's a very long series. And this is the vibrating belt. We mentioned this the other day in a video. In the 60s and 70s, people believed that you could put a vibrating belt around your midriff. Or back in the day, they did one else for your buttocks as well, or your thighs. And all you did was press a button, it would vibrate, and as it jiggles, it would increase fat cells to the surface, which it would break down, and you would lose weight. In hindsight, it's not a bad idea. You can get toning machines that you put on your abs, on your tummy, and they put pulses through. And some of them probably do work. You'd have to use them quite a lot, I think, to get even a huge amount of weight loss. And I think they're more for toning than they are for you losing weight. If you've got like a bit of excess kind of baggage, you could probably tone it, but I don't think you'd lose weight. So that is part one in our two-part series of the biggest diet and exercise fads of the century. How many of these have you tried? How many of these do you know? If you want to see part two, do give this a big thumbs up so I know you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more from me, like, subscribe, check me out on Instagram. Comment down below. Do you know any of these diets? Have you tried any? What do you hope to see in part two? I'm guessing someone like Mr. Motivate is going to be in part two. He was a British exercise person that hit big in like the 90s. But yeah, if you want to see more, remember to like and subscribe. Big thumbs up, and I will see you tomorrow for day 2 of the biggest fads of the 20th century. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye, guys.